Hey everybody, welcome to Under the Radar MMA for episode number 8. This is Jay Yoder calling out of Lindsay, California, followed with your co-host Juan Nunez calling out of Caracas, Venezuela. Cesar Gracie black belt holding it down over there in Venezuela. He's got his belt right behind him. What belt is that, Juan?
Oh man, a white bird, a bench for no reason. Those are like a small belt from Grappler Quest. That one specific, San Diego, California, the down south. Weather magnific. It was a fair connection. 4 different matches. Penny Thomas, she was the ref. Simple, dude. So precise how we earned the championship. You know, I put a tip on my hat and then start playing real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Well, all I got is this dog back here, Goose, and I won him wrestling here in Dagestan back in '94. So take that, Juan. How you like that? I got a dog. But anyways, back into episode number 8. We're gonna talk a little bit of Usman Burns. By the time this episode comes out, that fight has already happened. We're gonna talk about UFC 259 as our focus this week. We're gonna talk about Israel Adesanya moving up in weight class to challenge the belt of Jan Blachowicz at 205. We're gonna cover Amanda Nunes versus Megan Anderson. We're gonna do the move of the week with Juan Nunez, and then we're gonna cover Petr Yan, Aljamain Sterling, and a little bit Dominic Cruz versus Casey Kennedy. Okay, Juan, let's jump in it then, man. Let's talk about Israel Adesanya, you know, moving up a weight class, doing the challenge, going for that second belt against Jan Blachowicz. What's your thoughts?
A very, very difficult challenge for different fighters. Light heavyweight division, it is what I'm gonna do is to put my fist on the question, and then let you know that Adesanya kickboxing could make a difference. However, how well Błachowicz set up his precise, powerful shots.
Yeah, you know, Israel, you know, moving up from 185 to 205. I know him and John Jones are going back and forth, and John Jones is now moving up to heavyweight. Jan Blachowicz has been knocking fools out. You know, he's got very strong power. I think he calls it the Polish power. But, you know, Israel, you know, putting on some weight, putting that Instagram post last week about bulking up. You know, we saw that. I kind of, you know, can't talk about Israel without talking about John Jones. I'm sorry, but I feel like you remember John Jones put a lot of weight on, started getting into weightlifting, and that kind of hurt him. And even Greg Jackson during the round said, "Hey, no more weightlifting. You're getting a little tired and a little slow." But Israel's coach, you know. Head coach Eugene Behrman says no weight will be added. He'll fight at his walk around weight, which I think is awesome. So we'll see. I don't know. His head coach said, you know, we're not going to be stronger than Jan. We know that, and we're going to go in there with a great game plan, not to be stronger, but to be smarter. And if most of Israel's fights, Paulo Costa was his last victory, knocking him out. Very strong fighter, and I think that's Israel's game is to he does very well against strong power punchers, in my opinion.
Definitely. According from different sources, by having a basement under your training facility, you could always select the different exercise that could you set up by stay away and start collecting different techniques that you could become a different fighter, you know, set up, especially at the so on professional level, you know, when you are working since the very beginning, is when you realize that only the basics could still work and set up different avenues. So to be clear and precise, is gonna see a display of kickboxing during the Adesanya and Blachowicz fight.
Yeah, you know, I'm going Israel. I think, who knows, going up a weight class. I like it. I like that he's young. He's hungry. I think Jan's about 37, 38. I'm excited. Jan hasn't fought in a year. I don't know when Israel's last fight was. Paulo Costa. I forget what time frame that is. But it's been a year for Jan. And you got this young guy coming up to a bigger weight class that does great against a fighter like Jan, in my opinion. The one thing I would think Jan is probably watching a lot of Israel's old fights is the Gastelman fight versus Israel, and Gastelman caught Israel with a head kick and rocked him, and that's the first time we saw a dent in the armor of Israel. So that being said, a bigger weight class, a stronger punch, but at the same time, I think Israel at 185. His benefit was being fast. He is strong, don't get me wrong, but I think his benefit is being fast, switching it up, switching stances. I mean, he hits moving forward, backwards. But I don't know. I think this is his game plan, and I think he's gonna go in there, and I think he's gonna take the win. I really think he's gonna take the victory. He's motivated, and he's the man to watch in the UFC right now. He's the most exciting fighter in the UFC at this moment, in my opinion.
Definitely. An amazing display of victories during his stance in the octagon. However, his fight against Yoel Romero, definitely it was a very, very boring fight from a casual fan standpoint. However, from a coach standpoint, from a fighter coach standpoint, I can tell you the fight was an amazing fight, very technically, display of defense. You could see the wrestling wasn't there, only like a few shots during the fight. Then Israel calf kicks, which was the new thing at the moment, and then very close fight. I don't know, man. The big overhand right that Yoel Romero landed in the first round, make Adesanya play differently. Everything what is about the index toe and the small toe, and then the heel, the bottom of your feet on your heel. You have those 3 points on balance, and then you walk the stairs and you pulse those two. You understand what we're talking, like a man-to-man conversation. And the issue, the detail that I want to talk about during the fight, it was the close of the situation. It was a close fight. Adesanya got the decision, and he had the moment in the fight because the kicks made the difference.
Yeah, with that fight too, I think it's I remember I invited a bunch of people to watch that fight. It's the most amazing fight you're probably going to see. You got Israel and Yoel Romero. These guys go after it, and then it was kind of a standstill. Oh, you got the binoculars.
Oh man, it's amazing how long the distance. I can see everything in regard cats around the hood.
Can you see Lindsay, California? Can you see me, bro, through the window?
Lindsay, California, Pacifica, Daly City, Coleman.
But going back on the fight, I think it shows Israel's smarts with that Yoel Romero fight. He didn't put himself in danger. He knew what he had to do, and he respected Yoel Romero a lot. I'm sure he learned a lot from that fight, but he played it smart, and he got the victory. Yoel Romero was waiting for him to be sucked in, and he did hit him with that overhand right at the beginning. So I think it shows Israel smart. Kind of going a little bit back on Israel's stats is, he's coming off that KO in the second round over Paulo Costa, very strong competitor. He has victories over Yoel Romero, as we mentioned, Robert Whittaker, former champ, Kevin Gastelman, Anderson Silva, and Derek Brunson. As opposed to Jan, coming off a victory over Derek Reyes, about a year ago, February 2020. So it's been a year, but he has victories over Corey Anderson, Jacare Souza, and Luke Rockhold and he's knocked out Luke Rockhold and done an amazing job with that. But he will go for a submission if it's there, and it kind of looks like he has the You know, I shouldn't say this, you know, you're the black belt in jiu-jitsu, but it feels like he doesn't have the best jiu-jitsu, but he has such power like a Brock Lesnar almost that when he gets the submission, he just somehow gets it instantly. I call it the KO submission. You know, those guys that just don't give you any chance to react. What are your thoughts on Jan's submission game?
A step over lateral throw is a real quick answer to everything you said. It is a technique that Joel Romero applied through the silver quest at the Wrestling Olympic Games. So the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, does it? It is the simple situation. By having a silver medal, you could utilize different skills in the inside trip, perhaps, if necessary. Utilize the inside trip. However, no one like Daniel Cormier, a student, people-to-people student. Daniel Cormier, very academical, very clever. Sad to see Cormier skills in different athletes, younger different athletes. Let's say Kevin Holland could start utilizing the wrestling aspect of the national teams, you know. Perhaps Poland Jiu-Jitsu skills, I don't buy it. I do not believe the skills Jan Blachowicz could bring to the table until the upper deck. He could prove different coaches wrong. However, I believe he's just a heavy hitter with a solid background in mixed martial arts. Yeah. All that aside, it's going to be very challenging. And I believe it could have moments each in the technicality everywhere. You know, I understand through wrestling, by understanding, letting your students what's happening, let your coaches what's the technique that you would like to introduce in the future. Would it be like beside having a firm grip, utilize the palm like the spoon grip, or cup the shoulder. By cupping the shoulder, utilize the technicality, try the Uchimata Judo Gilles takedown, and then the reaction on the timing would be a switch to an ankle pick, and complete the technique and still moving forward.
Well, that being said, Juan, I agree. You know, the submissions he did get, it looked a little bit not like a high-performing jiu-jitsu artist, but I'll say he did just, you know, I forget who he was fighting, where he put him up against the fence and he grabbed that like rear naked choke from the side. He just cranked it, and the guy was like, "What happened?" before he knew it. But I think with a high level, not even a high-level jiu-jitsu guy, but even like Israel, I think is going to be a little more tricky to get a submission on. That being said, Juan, do you have a prediction?
12. I could start collecting 12 different reasons why could still have different results. Unfortunately, I would rather stay tuned. And we will talk it up and do a fight recap of the situation. Very, very out in the sidelines, because I would rather do my job, play-by-play action, and start thinking about the different technicalities, especially with the calf kicks, because never have I ever see someone perfect in each discipline, you know. So calf kicks are the new thing, man.
Well, I'm going Israel on this. I'm going Israel. You know, and if he wins, let's talk about it. He'll be in a small club of holding 2 belts at one time. You know, he got Henry Cejudo, Conor McGregor, what is it? Daniel Cormier, Amanda Nunes that we're going to be talking about later. So he's going to be in a great group that holds 2 belts at the same time. So I don't know. Israel undefeated, man. He's undefeated. So I like that he's taking this. You know, I like that he's moving up in weight. I think if we can learn anything from the career of Conor McGregor, it's take opportunities while it's there. And, you know, go for it. Go, push yourself. If you want to challenge yourself, challenge yourself. Yeah, it's a huge risk, but the only way to get the huge glory is the huge risk. So I like guys jumping up. Who knows? Could get knocked out. We have seen him rock, like I said, about Gastelum, but I'm excited to see. But Juan, let's kind of cover, you know, the fight would have already happened by the time this episode comes out. But let's talk about a little bit about the fight that happened on February 13th with Gilbert Burns versus Kamaru Usman. You know, we did talk about in episode 7 a breakdown, but you said you have a few things to talk about that. Let's hear it.
Oh man, I truly would like to work on the Dominic Cruz situation. Instead, Dominic Cruz brought the footwork to a different game. You know, he bring problems. He built a different formula to start up a different style of fighting. He brought it, man, until the upper deck. He was right toe to toe with different fighters, even though he's just a bantamweight, very small guy. However, he's fast. His wrestling against Demetrius Johnson was a great display of athletics. Do you remember who is he fighting on the next?
Dominic Cruz?
Affirmative.
He's fighting Casey Kenny.
Casey Kenny, yeah, he's a guy from Arizona, and I believe he grew up differently because he grew up with the basics in each and everything discipline. You know, great fight IQ as well, and he through the basics he could eventually conquer the one of the greatest fighters IQ of all time in the mixed martial arts industry.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Dominic Cruz, I'm a huge fan of Dominic Cruz. Like, it's hard not to be emotional when talking about him, but, you know, he is, I know you were talking about earlier, he was older in age, probably before the podcast we talked about it. But when he came back against, who did he come back against? Was it TJ Dillashaw? He took a long break. Yeah, he took 2 years off and then came back and defeated TJ Dillashaw, who was the champ at the time, and not just the champ, but someone in the whole division was eyeing as the guy. So I never want to count out Dominic Cruz. I did see a little bit of Casey Kenny, and he does set up some punches. I didn't see too many combos from him, but he does set up like he'll do like a lower leg kick, and then all of a sudden he'll do left jab. Like, and he was very good about that in some of the previous fights I've seen with him. But don't know too much about him, but definitely know a lot about Dominic Cruz like the rest of us. But anyway, that's all I got on Dominic Cruz.
Yeah, let's wait. Let's wait and see how it play out. You know, you could always move on to the next chapter. You know, because Dominic Cruz, besides being a straight fighter, he's excellent doing the inside leg kicks and getting moving out of the way with the left hook, and not a boxer pedigree guy. However, he definitely belongs with the wrestlers in a high standard, with a great high standard of safety, and whatever it has to do with innovation.
Great. Well, that being said, let's jump on to Amanda Nunes versus Megan Anderson, the co-main event for UFC 259. Amanda Nunes, you know, she's on 11-fight win streak. Last victory over Felicia Spencer. She has victories over Jermaine Ranmi, Holly Holm, Chris Cyborg, Raquel Pennington twice, Valentina Shevchenko twice, and Ronda Rousey. Actually, I think it's Raquel Pennington maybe once, but I think she also got 2 fights over Jermaine Ranmi, 2 victories over her. Like I said, Valentina Shevchenko twice, Ronda Rousey, and Sarah McMahon. I mean, in my opinion, she is the GOAT. When she knocked out Cyborg, she was the pound for pound what I had at number one. I don't think she got enough respect. I still don't think she gets much respect or play. I don't know why. She's a very exciting fighter. She did something that Israel did, jumped up in weight, except against more of a John Jones type competitor in Chris Cyborg. And she knocked her out at her own game. So for me, Amanda Nunes, by far the GOAT, and gets no respect. I'm curious why that is. What's your thoughts, Juan? Do you think Amanda Nunes gets the respect she deserves, and if not, why?
Jay, I have to be honest with you, and Amanda Nunes, she had her moment. She still have her moment. However, her lesbian movement could keep her clear in her path. She's not a radical lesbian. She played very conservative. She's excellent with wrestling, very good with jiu-jitsu. The only time I see her shine through was when she competed against Chris Cyborg. It was arguably one of the greatest female fights until John Anik and Kenny Canflow and Ray Longo for a minute. The three of them break it down with. That's the only time Amanda Nunes excelled in her boxing department. Other than that, she is forced to apply her wrestling, and she is facing a different kind of challenge. Not because her lesbian situation. I'm talking about what she's gonna do in the cage next time she steps in against Megan Anderson. She is an Australian lady with a very, very stiff jab, great posture. She have like a great boxing, and I believe the precise power belongs to her, Megan Anderson.
Really? So you got Megan Anderson. I'm going to Amanda Nunes. I mean, it sounds like you're saying that maybe she peaked already. But I think as far as the lesbian thing, I think the UFC, although I don't think they denied it. You saw it along the embedded and stuff like that. But who gives a shit? You're a good fighter. You get the victories. You're a good fighter. It doesn't matter what the hell you do outside the cage, in my opinion. But the UFC embeddeds, they did show her and her girlfriend and training in other lesbian UFC athletes. But I think that as a marketing standpoint, UFC definitely dropped the ball. They could have definitely promoted that more. I mean, come on, Amanda Nunes. But, it's crazy just when you see someone like Paige Van Zandt and all these people getting huge marketing deals. And, hey, I guess if you get viewers, you get viewers. But to see someone like Amanda Nunes not get that same kind of treatment, in my opinion, maybe I'm ignorant, but I think it's not fair to Amanda. But Megan Anderson, strong competitor, 2-fight win streak. Last victory over Norma Dumont, first round KO in February 2020, so about a year ago. So we'll see. We'll see what's going on.
What the hell, man? Before I forget, Amanda, she have excellent numbers. Let her roll out of my back. Her Brazilian background and her ability to execute different techniques and still be a great champion, it dictates the pace of her situation. She could be a conservative lesbian and still stay tuned with the mixed martial arts in her whole career. Hey, do it. However, she understands that she needs to build constantly a different formula, to have a different training to make you achieve greatness. Like for example, you can say like I'm doing a business meeting. We're talking about mixed martial arts. We're doing some description from a coaching standpoint. We are that's a fair connection. However, I could be real quick, and say something like, hey, jab, right uppercut, left hook, off the shoulder bomb. We get the chance somewhere else. That's what happening with Amanda.
Yeah, I think one thing about Amanda Nunes that she got the great jiu-jitsu. She'll throw them. Yeah, she probably improve, but knocking out Chris Cyborg, wasn't a clean boxing match. But hey, Chris Cyborg, that's never happened, or she destroys people. And for Amanda Nunes to jump up and wait and do that's amazing. But Amanda Nunes, her mentality, her mind frame, I think is most important. The lioness, she always seems game. She always seems focused. And it comes from a good spot. I don't know. I just like her. I like how she comes off in the camera, her personality. But I think as far as her determination, she's focused. And to hear her story coming from Brazil to America and doing it, for me, that's what wins fights, especially tough fights like the one against Cyborg. I believe it was mentality now. I know I keep talking about the Cyborg fight. It was a while ago. But and she did have a decision over Felicia Spencer. We didn't see no KOs or anything. But I want to see Amanda Nunes keep going. Come on, victories over Holly Holm, Ronda Rousey, and Miesha Tate. I believe she had the victory over Miesha Tate. I didn't write it down, but those are three great names out there. And then Cyborg top it off, Sarah McMahon. I mean, come on, what else do you want out of an athlete? What else do you want? Valentina Shevchenko twice. What else? Come on, Juan. What else do you need? And you got Megan Anderson. She's coming up, but man, I don't know. I'm going to Amanda Nunes on this one.
You can be upset with that. I have to bring Valentina up. Valentina Shevchenko. She could have fight her in a trilogy, and everyone could easily understand what we're talking about. For a couple minutes, you can see Valentina always had a moment with her. Standing up. She brought her jabs, her kicks. It was a threat, and according to some different critics, I get it. I get digging. Valentina belongs to the next level. What it means to, by any means, representation of a mixed martial arts competitors, in the female department.
Hey, I'd love to see that fight in a third match. I think Valentina is on fire right now. She's peaking. It'd be a great fight. But that being said, Juan, let's jump into the move of the week. 1 second, let me pull it up.
One of the reasons, Jay, I would like to break down the move, the Angela Hill UFC fighter of the flyweight division. It's just a warm-up drill. I truly recommend it. Guys and girls could do this exercise because of the pace. You could see it. It is very good. It could be right before having a multi-session. Understanding the wrestling aspect of the martial arts. It provides you a better balance, better feel right on the bottom of your feet. The 3 points we were talking about, the index toe, and then you could see the small toe, and then the heel. Those 3 points on the bottom of your feet. It makes everything clear for balance. Right after 3 minutes, you could start doing the detail on her. Wear your shin pads, start working calf kicks. During this move, see Lacey, she's doing a single leg attack, and then Angela she's not copying the shoulder. She's utilizing something different. She's utilizing like a overhook, simple overhook, and then execute like a Ushimata, a judo combination.
And then Juan, you got this. This is Angela Hill, correct? And you got this video from who again?
Cesar Gomez, Skyline wrestling coach. Also a Gilbert Melendez student at the San Francisco Third Street Mixed Martial Arts Training Center.
Well, thank you to him, to see Angela Hill on the move of the week. You know, it's always best to see a UFC fighter for the move of the week, so this is awesome. Not that we don't like seeing you, Juan, all the time in move of the week, but this is great. But I think I interrupted a couple of your breakdowns, so sorry about that. Let's go ahead.
If I think Lacey tried to get the single, and then Angela she lift the leg by having like a overhand, firm, strong grip, and then she do like a small whip it in her back. And then Angela understand everyone can see the difference when it comes to be clear about it.
Yeah, I like that. It looks like she gets that, like you said, that overhand with the left arm, and then her right hand looks like it grabs the tricep, and she throws that leg up between the legs and just turns her hips, it looks like. That's a little move.
I will get a real change there, though.
Hey, what?
Elaborating on the details, I will get a real change on there, meaning like she could transition real quick, whatever she want to do. However, if a multi aspect is there, she can always do the calf kicks anytime she wants,
Great. Well, that's awesome, Juan. Well, that's it for this move of the week. Awesome to see Angela Hill, UFC fighter. Thank you for the El Nino Training Center student. What was his name again, Juan? I'm sorry.
Angela Hill, UFC fighter, flyweight. Lacey, she's her partner. I met them. I met her. Then they stopped by Gilbert Melendez's gym. I traded a few words with her in a wrestling class. She came with a small speech talking about 5 different reasons to fact your brand, to build your brand, to grow, personal growth, martial arts. She was kind of new in the business because of she was doing like Team Pettis versus Team Melendez, which I have nothing. I have nothing there. It was everything afterwards, like I stopped by. I was away from the gym. I just came back from a short trip vacation business. I was doing something in Morro Bay, like a small competition. I choose to stay there for a while, but I was coming back to the gym at the moment that Angela Hill was there. And I see her doing well against different athletes. She was holding her own against great female athletes at the gym doing the wrestling. And even though she started old, she started old for being an athlete. She's an African American athlete. She started not even in her 20s, I believe later than that, and she came a long way. What the hell? She have a great wrestling, and she's still competing. She was always very on the radar. Always being a hard worker, always working from Monday to Monday, and she's doing her job, I believe so.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Juan, for this breakdown of the move of the week for episode number 8. Again, thank you for Juan Nunez, Cesar Gracie black belt for the breakdown, the move of the week with Angela Hill, showing us some moves on there from the Bay Area. Let's talk about Petr Yan versus Aljamain Sterling coming up again for UFC 259. Thoughts, Juan?
Oh man, Jay, overstep lateral, the technique the Russian artists bring as well to the table. It was a more undertaking, and it's still more wrestling difference. Everything is a mix. You and I understand that Russia and America, business aside, all that aside, could be work if you think about the wrestling means. But Petr Yan, a great kickboxer, man. He also come from a solid background in kickboxing. He's not only a wrestler with a sambo groundwork situation. Do you understand when I'm talking to you? I'm mentioning a groundwork situation. How far away am I right now? Petr Yan could kick well and set up, and he could also take some different and get some digging away, and then he could outsmart his adversary. For this coming up, it's a fair connection. It is a great match. However, I give the edge to the Russian dude, the Petr Yan.
Yeah, Aljamain Sterling, very exciting fighter. He's got some awesome stand-up kicks. So dive for those ankles. I think you were mentioning he was doing some Dagestan training with some of the Dagestan wrestlers. I'm not sure, but just amazing MMA fighter. Very exciting to watch. Petr Yan, solid, very solid. Also very amazing. I'm excited for this fight. I don't really have a prediction for this one, but was that true, Juan, that you said Aljamain Sterling was doing some training with Dagestan, or is that Petr Yan you were talking about?
Oh, I was talking the Russian dude. The Russian dude, he's clear. He's clear because everyone understands what it means to grow up in a society that you have a mandatory time to invest in the athletics, and that's how in Russia people grow. You're made to do sports, beside having an academic system that you can read books and then find a formula and develop a game plan.
Awesome. Well, that's it for this the UFC 259 breakdown with Jan Blachowicz versus Ariel Adesanya. That's March 6th. Again, that's UFC 259 co-main event: Amanda Nunes versus Megan Anderson. You got Petr Yan versus Aljamain Sterling and Dominic Cruz versus Casey Kinney, to name a few of the fights on that card. Juan, before we head out for this episode, I wonder, did you catch the interview with Nate Diaz that happened with what's his name, the famous journalist Ariel?
Oh yeah, what about those?
Did you watch it? Nate Diaz went on his show.
I did, man. Great situation. They were talking about possibly upcoming welterweight situation. Is that so?
Yeah, Nate Diaz was saying that he's only interested at 170, no 155. He said he might do a 165. 170. I think he even might have mentioned 180, 185 possibly, but it sounds like 170. He wants Dustin Poirier or Charles Oliveira. But Charles Oliveira would have to move up weight. Maybe they could do a catch weight at 165 if the UFC will allow it. Uninterested in the Conor McGregor fight. Said he waited a long time for that, and since he came off a loss, he doesn't want it. Sounds like the UFC is pushing for that. Big Nate Diaz fan, but I don't know. What are your thoughts on that one?
Oh man, if let's book it, competition against Tony Ferguson at welterweight, it could be a great build-up of the boxing and jiu-jitsu. They both have a different style of the discipline. The problem is Tony walking with the chin too much up in the air. And Nate is a great boxer. So I would rather stay in the sidelines. All that aside, and I hope both of them make the best decision for their whole career.
Awesome. Well, very exciting to see Nate ready to come back. Sound like COVID kind of ruined his plans, but great to see him back. I think it's going to be interesting if he gets a fight at the title so quick for being gone so long. I think there's a lot of guys there, so it's hard. Said he would like to fight Tony, but when he come off that loss, he wants to wait a little bit. Oliveira, he could revenge that loss, but I don't know how the weight would work if Oliveira would be down, because it sounds like he's probably going to want to go for that 155 title. But very exciting interview. Always good to hear from Nate. Always a character, smoking on there, talking about last time he was talking to Adesanya, he got too high and had a split or something like that. That's why I think videos are fun to watch, because you never know what they're going to say. But anyways, I just wondered if you got that watch that interview. It was very entertaining for me. I don't watch Ariana's show too much, but when I see Nate Diaz on there, of course I'm clicking it.
Absolutely, man. Definitely. five different reasons, man, to factor brands that truly make everyone think about it. It is always great, man, to chop it up with you, and I really have to go, man.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching this week's Under the Radar. Please like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Thank you.